Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Constable Danny McKinnon, Winnipeg Police Public Information Officer. Thank you for joining us today. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge that we are in Treaty 1 territory, the home and traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, Innu Cree, and Dakota peoples, and in the national homeland of the Red River Métis. Our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 41st Nation in Treaty 3 territory. So today we're here for this news conference to provide information regarding the Winnipeg Police Service and the expansion of testing for the AI-powered interactive voice agent, referred to as IVA sometimes, that will be used for the non-emergency line. And to provide information on this will be Inspector Gord Spado from the Communications Division with the Winnipeg Police Service, and as well is our guest today, Mayor Scott Gillingham. Sir.
Good afternoon. Thanks for coming out. As Danny said, we're here to announce that we're going to be expanding testing of our artificial intelligence voice agent that we've been testing for many months to this point. This initiative came about as part of the Mayor's Challenge, where the challenge was put out to the public service to look at ways to leverage AI technology to improve customer service. We were very excited to hear about this challenge, as we'd already started looking at AI capabilities and had actually shelved them in early 2024. So in June, when the Mayor brought up this initiative, it gave us an opportunity to reopen that initiative and look at other opportunities. Very happy to have found a local company that provides this service, and we've been working with them diligently ever since. We've gone through a number of test phases. We've done, I think, 8 or 9 different rounds of maybe an hour and a half at a time, once every week or two. And during that development, those testing, we would identify issues that needed to be fixed, policy compliance issues, but they were very supervised tests, so we were able to catch those and push them through to call takers as required if things weren't going the way they were supposed to. Our goal of this project is really about improving customer service and giving a modern flair to the call taking process with our organization. We have been using the traditional IVR, or interactive voice response model for many years to try to divert calls from the communication center, and it works well. However, it's very cumbersome and not user-friendly for the public. So when the public calls, when we're using the AI agent, it's much more conversational, and that technology is working out quite well. Like I said, we've gone through 8 or 9 iterations. We're holding this press conference now because we're going to be ramping up that testing and likely going to start almost daily for an hour and a half to 2 hours at a time. And if that goes well for the next week or so, maybe implementing a 6 or 7 hour a day. Our goal is to get to 24 hours a day. To give you an idea, you'll get the press release shortly, but our non-emergency line receives about 172,000 calls to date this year. That's about 900 a day. That does not include the 911 calls that we receive. And to date, we're at about 207,000 911 calls. Well, all those calls are answered by the same call takers if it comes through to the comm center. So we really want to try to divert as many of the non-emergency calls as we can while still providing a quality customer service. And that frees up our call takers to handle the actual emergent calls. Having listened to some of these calls, there are times that the call does not go well, and a lot of that can be attributed to the way the customers are interacting with that agent. They're not speaking in sentences, it's not conversational, so we really want to send a message to the public that when dealing with or when calling the agent, we encourage you to speak in clear, full sentences. Limit background conversations because it can confuse the AI if you're talking to the AI on the phone and talking to somebody in the background. And then also wait for the voice agent to finish the prompts before replying. If you interrupt, it may start that questioning process over again, which can lead to frustration. The goals of these tips is to improve the experience for the caller. And we've trained this, we've spent months training this agent to handle our standard operating guidelines, what referrals we can implement, and it's doing a very good job. And I think we're well on our way to success. That success is really all attributable to the team that's been working on it. Both internally, we have a number of people that are actually in this room that have put in many, many hours working on this project to make it successful. And then our vendor as well has been very engaged and very involved in all of our testing. So I thank you to everybody that's been working on this project. Also like to thank Mayor Gillingham for the opportunity and the challenge to get us to this point and improve customer service for the citizens of Winnipeg. I'll now turn it over to Mayor Gillingham.
Thanks, Inspector. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much, Inspector Spado. Thank you, Constable McKinnon, as well, for the land acknowledgement and for the invitation to be here today. Yes, as Inspector Spado said, and as many of you will remember, last year in 2024, at my State of the City address in February, March of that year, I issued a challenge to our public service, encouraging them to come forward with ideas to use AI to improve customer service. And at the outset, I said, this is an opportunity for us as departments to test and to adjust. And I think from time to time, and I said it at a press conference a while ago, we need to give ourselves the opportunity to test things and even permission at times to fail or to adjust as necessary. And using AI is one of those scenarios where we're growing and developing our ability to use it. And so I really do want to commend and thank the Winnipeg Police Service for taking up the challenge, to your entire team, Inspector Spado, that's many, as you said, are in the room, and so many probably who are not in the room today, who have embraced this challenge and boldly embracing AI. We have launched as a city, we've launched 6 AI initiatives, innovative pilot projects, and including the one that we're speaking of today with the non-emergency line of the Winnipeg Police Service. All of those initiatives aim to do 2 things. And the first and foremost is just what the inspector said. It's to improve customer service. That is the goal, that we can do a better job of providing good service to the people of Winnipeg who depend upon our services. The second aim of these initiatives is to support our staff, our own employees, by using technology to reduce the pressures on their work and to allow them to focus on the work where they're needed the most. By expanding testing of the AI-powered tool on the Winnipeg Police Service non-emergency line, we're taking a smart, careful approach and step forward in modernizing how Winnipeggers get help from the non-emergency line and on non-urgent matters. And importantly, it supports our goal of ensuring that our emergency operators can focus on emergency calls when every second counts. It's exactly the kind of innovation that I hope for when I put forward the challenge. And I want to stress again, we're taking a thoughtful, measured approach with all these initiatives, and the AI-powered response agent here for non-emergency police calls is thoughtful and measured, and as you can see, it's being developed and evolving over time and improved all along the way. The pilot has been carefully tested and will continue to be monitored as it expands. If it doesn't deliver results or raises concerns, then we'll adapt. And you hear already that the team here at the Winnipeg Police Service is adapting all the time. Again, I want to thank members of the WPS for their leadership on this project, and our own city's innovation and technology department for their work, and the vendor who is successful in this work and helping out as well. Again, to reiterate, this is about delivering good customer service to the people of Winnipeg and making a heavy workload a little more manageable for frontline staff. And it's really a great example of how we can embrace innovation and use it to our shared advantage to improve services for our community. Thank you very much.
We can open up the floor to any questions that anybody might have.
So Mayor, just talked about launching the 6 AI initiatives. What are those 6 AI initiatives?
Knew I was going to get asked that question, so I wrote them down because I couldn't remember them all. So there were 6 that are launched ultimately by our departments. And one of them was an automated voice agent for non-emergency calls, as we're talking about today. Then there was an automated chat for 311 inquiries, an automated development plan evaluation tool in a permitting department, road condition monitoring, where we've attached cameras, we've mounted them onto city vehicles, including buses, voice sentiment analysis, and then automated invoice processing as well. So those are the 6. We've reported on a few of those and the success or the modifications that need to be made, and some, I think there was one that just wasn't working out very well, but others are still in the process of these pilot initiatives.
Which one wasn't working out? Did you roll it out?
I think that, let me get the clarity on that. I think that there was one, was the police service doing 2? I think it was this one, right?
That's WWS.
Well, that's right. The Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service was working on the voice sentiment analysis. I don't know the degree to which that was successful. We'll get you the information on that one, okay?
And sorry, what is voice sentiment analysis?
Basically what it was doing was, I'll get your clarity, but kind of monitoring the call that was happening to see what was even going on in our call takers and how, it was monitoring the voice inflections and just to see the degree to which our call takers were undergoing stress because of the call. It was really the voice sentiment analysis was all about protecting our city staff and making sure that through the process of doing their work, we're taking these urgent calls, that we wanted to see how they were doing as well. So, but I don't know the degree to which that was successful, but we can get you an update on that as well, okay, before the end of today. Thank you.
For this program, is there a decision to make it permanent yet, or still assessing and we'll set that later?
No, we're still assessing. Like I said, we've only done 8 or 9 rounds of hour and a half at a time. We want to get to 24/7 if it's successful, but we still have a lot of work ahead of us to get there. And in a couple of weeks, we might be going up to 6-7 hours a day while we have support staff available. But when it's in the middle of the night, if something's not working right, we want to make sure have the confidence before we get to that point.
Okay. And when, do you have any sense of when you would make a decision on if this should be permanent?
Hoping by the end of the year, because like I said, we've got the expanded testing now. Then we'll actually run the pilot 24/7 if we can get there for hopefully a couple of months before we actually make a formal decision, but hope to have that before the end of the year.
And I know in June, police said the first tests weren't up to par, didn't meet the threshold they'd set for it, and then the last one was much more successful. Is it still now consistently meeting, he described it as an 85% success rate, where 85% of the calls wouldn't need to be forwarded to a person, could be handled?
It's not even 85% aren't forwarded. It's 85% are handled properly. Sometimes, like, we have about 50 to 55% of our calls that come in through non-emergency actually need a call taker. So if we expect it's going to be in that type of range, but if it's 85%, 90% fully handled by the AI agent during our testing, that's where we would say we're in a position to expand it even further.
And you also mentioned about usually you get like 900 non-emergency calls. Is that the correct number? Or is it
900 a day,
900 a day?
Yep.
Usually.
not non-emergency.
And then how are they addressed? Like before this AI pilot, like how many were addressed in a day?
About the same as with where our goal is. Our IVR would handle 45 to 50%. The rest would go into our call takers. The problem with the current IVR is it's very antiquated. It's not a great public experience for the public. And it's that traditional press 1 for this, press 2 for that, and you have to go to like 8 or 9 before you get to where you really want to be. So it can take a long time. We really want to get it to the point where a person can call, say what they need, and not worry about where they are in that list of options, and the AI agent can forward them to the most appropriate resource. Like I said, conversational, avoiding background noise, and all those things will make that experience much better and actually faster. The less times you have to actually talk to a call taker, the better, because the call takers, like I said, are handling 911 and non-emergency. And of course, our priority is in the 911 emergency calls. So sometimes those non-emergency calls wait. So by being clear with the AI of what it is you're looking for, we'll process that faster and hopefully be able to divert to someplace that we.
Not
Good
everybody's first language is English, French. Is it able to understand French or any other languages to, because you're saying
Yeah.
complete sentences and stuff like that to better understand the call taker?
As of right now, the agent is only in English, but it is on the roadmap with the vendor that we're currently working on to be able to handle other languages, particularly French. The nice part is if the agent doesn't understand what is being said, whether it's another language, can't actually articulate what they need, it will automatically go to a call taker. And then the call taker will process it as they normally do. And if we need to engage interpreters, we do.
So I guess the idea is that you're talking about efficiencies, Mayor, that you're able to put those call takers, non-emergency, divert that to the emergency, and that system will become more efficient, like, I don't know if you
Yeah,
touched on that.
We don't actually move them back and forth. It's just that as the calls come in, 911 calls will take priority. So those non-emergency calls will sit and wait until there's an available operator. But all the operators handle all the calls throughout the day.
I do have a clarification question. The way I interpreted it, it was 85%, it was deemed successful if 85% were handled solely by AI, and then you said that's not quite it, but then it felt like you were saying the same thing after an explanation. So if you could just
85%,
more.
for our testing, at least 85% handled correctly by the
Yeah.
AI. But that doesn't mean that they're not diverted to a call taker. Some
Okay.
calls require the call taker. So if the AI agent applies our policies correctly,
Okay,
that's success, even if it means it goes to a call taker because it's required.
okay. So it's not necessarily going to be getting rid of all the in-person calls
Never,
to be deemed a success. It's
never,
just-
never will.
Maybe some of them go all the way through.
Yeah, well, actually, we have about 45-50% that actually are handled strictly by either the IVR or the AI agent, which would be maybe a referral to 311 or goes to telephone reporting. We can send the link to online reporting. I'm hoping at some point in the future, if this is a permanent project, that maybe we can fill out police reports through the AI, kind of like we do with online reporting. But if somebody doesn't have a computer, for example, they could do answer all the questions to complete the report through AI, and that just gets imported into our record system.
And I guess is the point of talking to the public about this today to say you are now way more likely to come across the new system.
That's
Okay.
exactly it. And that's why we're saying it now. We didn't announce it before because our testing was very sporadic and short duration. Now we're going to be more frequent on a number of days and longer duration as we move forward.
And I'm just asking this, I think the message sounds like from what you were saying, this isn't the case, but is there any thought to reducing the number of call takers, the number of staff, because you have this other system?
No, we've got so much demand for our staff right now, and we're actually recruiting more. So if there's anybody interested in call taking, by all means, we're taking applications starting in August. But no, there's no intention to reduce staffing at all. Any takers?
We're talking about it. He's pretty good at handling questions.
Any final questions?
Okay.
That'll
Thanks a
conclude
lot.
this matter. For the media and the public, if you'd like to just hang tight, I'm going to see the mayor and inspector out, and I'll be right back to present another matter. Thank you. Yeah, you're still live. Okay, just thought we'd slide this second matter of public awareness in here while we have the opportunity to speak to the public viewers and to the media who's in attendance. So thank you very much. Just wanted to talk about a traveling fraud and theft ring and bring some public awareness to this situation, as our property crimes unit investigators have brought attention to the media office and recommended certainly that the public becomes aware of this. This is something that we've talked about before. In fact, I believe December-ish of 2024 last year, I was making a similar announcement. The Winnipeg Police Service is providing this announcement because we've received numerous reports of fraud and theft reports that are believed to involve a traveling organized criminal organization circulating throughout the city. And as I mentioned, these scams aren't new, and they've certainly been reported in our city before and throughout the country of Canada, really. So the scams occurring in two different forms that we've received in the reports. And the one is that citizens are being approached by unknown suspects in very public venues, such as gas stations, shopping mall parking lots, casinos, grocery store parking lots, or within grocery stores. And it's usually occurring in broad daylight, generally between 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. The strangers are approaching people and striking up conversations, quite friendly. They might ask for directions. This has very commonly been reported. Or perhaps if they're at a gas station saying, can I get a little bit of gas money? So they're asking for a little bit of a favor. Of course, Winnipeggers being as friendly as we are, we're giving into this and lending maybe a little bit of money or providing these directions, having somewhat of a conversation with these individuals. And it's not until the encounter is over that they realize that one of two things have happened, that perhaps their jewelry has been stolen. So these are distraction techniques where, you know, it's sort of like that old idea of like pickpocket, but they're very successful at taking maybe bracelets off, rings off have been reported, necklaces have been stolen, and you know, that's quite unfortunate. The other scenario is during these interactions, and if they do perhaps get some gas money, as a favor, they provide the citizens with, they say, oh, take some jewelry, or here, they give them an iPhone. It's not really an iPhone. It's not really good jewelry. Everything is of little value. And here we go. Now you've been scammed and you've been victimized. So between approximately March and as of just the recent weeks, we've received over a dozen of these reports, and we're sure that there's many more to come. Now, the difference between me talking about this today versus last time is last time we actually had some suspect descriptions to provide. There was certainly somewhat of a pattern that seems similar. Right now, we're casting a bigger net. We're saying a few things to take away from this. Be mindful of people that are having these conversations with you and they're driving vehicles that have out-of-town license plates. So from another province, this is common. Traveling in a group of people, often children are with them. It sort of lowers that feeling of risk. And it's happening in broad daylight, and it's happening everywhere citizens of Winnipeg are going, traveling, and being, especially on holiday times. Summer is here, like gas station is a prime location for these events to be happening. So again, preying on kindness of Winnipeggers, we want you to be aware of this. And if you are victimized, or even if you're just subject to it and you haven't fallen for it, and again, please don't feel bad if you have, we'd like you to make reports. So theft under $25,000 can be reported online at the Winnipeg Police website, and I've linked that on the release. And as well, if it's something a bit more significant or involves a robbery where you know, somebody has actually grabbed you and stolen property from you, that's considered a robbery, to contact the Property Crimes Unit. You can also contact Crime Stoppers to make these reports. Any questions? Pretty straightforward. We just like that messaging to get out there. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.